Lawmakers band together to defend the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is part 2 of a current event that you worked on in February, also from Disability Scoop. Some background information: the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 is a non-discrimination statute that are based on civil rights model. They aren't entitlement laws, and they don't guarantee successful learning or mandate the creation of special programs. For persons with disabilities, ADA is about access. The goal of Section 504 and the ADA is to remove barriers and to guarantee reasonable accommodations so that persons with disabilities have an opportunity to participate. The previous article introduced you to legislation in the House of Representatives. So I'm going to read this article to you, and then you will have an opportunity to write a letter to your state representative. So let's go. U.S. Senate Democrats are vowing to block legislation that would dramatically alter the Americans with Disabilities Act. A letter signed by 43 Democratic senators urges Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican from Kentucky, not to bring forward a bill known as the ADA Education and Reform Act, or H.R. 620. The measure, which was approved by the House of Representatives in February, would require individuals who experience accessibility barriers at public businesses to submit written notice of the issues. Then businesses would have up to 60 days to respond and another 60 days to start improvements. Proponents of the legislation say that it would protect businesses from opportunistic lawsuits while giving proprietors time to correct problems. Disability advocates counter, however, that businesses have had more than 2 decades to comply with the ADA, and the proposed changes to the law would leave people with disabilities unable to access stores, restaurants, movie theaters, and other spaces for months after flagging an accessibility violation. No American should be forced to endure discrimination for any length of time, so that places of public accommodation may learn how to follow a seminal bipartisan civil rights law that was enacted in 1990, reads the Democratic letter sent to McConnell late last month. Respectfully, we urge you to join us in supporting the rights of Americans with disabilities by making clear that H.R. 620 or similar legislation will never receive a vote in the United States Senate during the 115th Congress. Since the bill passed the House, Senate leaders should Senate leaders could choose to consider it at any moment. The Democrats say that if the bill is brought up, they will block it. We haven't gotten any indications on timing, but since the Senate Majority Leader has the ability to bring it up for a vote anytime, Senator Duckworth felt it was important to organize a filibuster-proof coalition of senators in opposition to the bill to make sure he understood it could not pass. Sean Savitt, a spokesman for the letter's organizer, Senator Tammy Duckworth, she is a Democrat from Illinois, told the Disability Scoop. A representative for McConnell did not respond to questions about the letter or the bill. So in summary, you'll remember that in February, you read an article stating that the U.S. House of Representatives voted to change the Americans with Disabilities Act due to what they say are too many frivolous lawsuits. However, disability rights advocates think this will severely damage the progress made in the 27 years since the original was written in 1990. They also fear that people with disabilities will be taken advantage of and denied services that the current law provides them access to. Now, Democratic representatives are fighting back, stating that no American should face discrimination while public facilities figure out how to provide access, especially since they have had 27 years to figure it out. It is unclear when the bill will be brought to the floor of the Senate, but certain members are prepared to fight if and when it is and block it. So, what do you think? Please write a mock letter to your representatives expressing your feelings about this new amendment to the current Americans with Disabilities Act. Begin the letter with an appropriate salutation. For example, Dear Mr. Representative or Dear Mrs. Representative. The body of your letter should include not only your opinion, but some reasons why you feel the way you do, and use information from the article to support your feelings. Finally, don't forget to conclude your letter with a proper closing, such as sincerely and your name. This is important, and the reason I'm following up on the previous article is because I want you to see the whole process, not only about how laws are made. So we know that it passed the House of Representatives, and it did go to the Senate, but the Senate hasn't voted on it yet. So you have an opportunity to write a letter to your representative and say whether you support the Senate voting on it or you don't support the Senate voting on it. Your opinion matters. If you have any questions or concerns or are unsure how to do this, I will be back in the office at the end of the week and I will be able to help you. Good luck.